There is one more thing that you can do though. Instead of processing it over here, you can also process the same of the import file itself. So let us do it that way. That will be easier and convenient for us. Okay, let us also understand this data set a bit because there are a lot many columns here. Let's cancel this for now. Let us work on this a bit. See out here on the row labels, you can see there's country names. These are the names of the countries that we have chosen for which the electricity consumption data is available. So which countries are using how much of which kind of fuel is available. Now in Afghanistan, Albania and Algeria, there is nothing called as biofuel or electric or coal. Afghanistan, of course, it's a broken country. So when you speak of Algeria, they cannot have a biofuel electricity. Why? Because it's in a desert. So typically they'll not have any plants they are growing, which you can use for generating biofuel electricity, of course. And they have a high composition of fossil electricity, gas electricity, hydroelectricity. They don't have oil electricity generation. They also, now why is that they are having a very high composition of fossil electricity and even some bit of hydroelectricity? They don't generate hydroelectricity. It's most likely they are importing it from elsewhere. So, but when we see it, the fossil and the gas electricity is the highest because it is one of the largest oil and gas producers in the world. Obviously, it's not as high as Saudi Arabia or Russia still. So these are the country names that we see here. And when you come here, yeah, let's get rid of this. We are deleting this and saving this here. We're saving it over there. And now let's close this file and get data. So we're selecting text and CS. Wait, let us do one thing. We'll remove this. We'll remove it. Okay, that's better. We click on get data. Or text or CSV file format, click connect. Energy data, click open. And yes, that's the data that we have. I click load. Generating, it's loading, it's working on it. Yeah, okay, the energy data is ready here. Again, we were working on the renewables source. So let's click on solar, which was the hydroelectricity, and we also taken the nuclear electricity. Fine, that is what these are the summation values. Okay. Now, if I select row labels out here as we selected last time, we can see that's the name of the countries that we are seeing here. Okay. But then again, we can see that China, United States, they have the highest electricity production out here. They are the largest consumers, followed by Canada, France, and yeah, Canada and France also the highest, followed by Japan, Norway, Russia. I can't find India anywhere. Yeah, okay, India is here that we can see. One more thing. This out here we are reading this as row labels, right? Instead, it is supposed to be the country names that we are seeing here. So you can see here row labels out here on the x-axis, and on the y-axis we have the different electricity types that are here. So let us change this row labels to country name. So I'll select this row labels here. Right click on that. Scroll up here on rename. And I'll change this to what? Country name. Yes. So that you can see it's working on it and it's changed. So country name is here, and you can see here this country name is changed here. Now, what is this? Typically, what we generated here is the electricity consumption of different countries for the renewables energy source. This is what we did. And now if I click on this, you can also export this data. You can show this data as table. You can sort the axis. Okay. So if you want, you can sort as what? A to Z also, or Z to A. So I'm clicking on this. Now this is in descending order. That is, we are having it from wind to nuclear or hydro. So now I'm changing this from A to Z. So let's click on sort axis, descending A to Z. Right. Now what happens is the changes here, they are showing up out here in this format. The point here again is the values that are used. Okay. The sorting is not based on the names. It is based on the values of all the energy sources. We see here That's China, United States, Germany. So these are the names of the countries. And let us keep it descending so that we can easily understand it. As we come over here, we can see that there is a very long list of countries where the power consumption is low. And obviously, because they're not as big in terms of economic, not big in terms of economic sizes. So therefore, the electricity consumption is going to be naturally lower. But then again, what is this report about? It is about renewables. So what I'll do is I'll go back to report. I'll come on page 1, right click, rename the page. I'll rename this as what? Renewables. So, and yes, let's keep saving this file, which I haven't since start. So I click on file here. I'll click on save or save as. That's date. I intend to save this file as energy consumption. Let's make this global energy renewables versus non-renewables. Sorry, that's a very long file name. Let's click save. File name is not valid. Okay, we can't take a slash here, it seems. PERS. I click on save. Now you can see here the file format in which it's getting saved is .pbix. So these are the two file types that your data will be getting saved as. So I click save here. It's working on it, and your file has been saved. So when your file has been saved, where is your file name? That's your file name you see here on the top. That was for renewables energy that we see here. So we have picked wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear. When it comes to non-renewables, so again, what I'll do is, right, let us select a new page. So I'm selecting a new page here, and I'll rename this page as what? Non-renewables. So I'll rename here. That's non-renewables that we see here. And again, we intend to generate or create the same file type out here that we are seeing here. We'll create the same file types. What I've done is I have taken it on a separate page. I can also take it over here on the same page I can take, but I'm taking it on a separate page for your ease in understanding. Next, what do we see here? We now want to create something on the non-renewables. Yes. Let's open these. So what are the non-renewables? Coal is, fossil is, gas is non-renewable, oil is also non-renewable. And which other ones do we have? Solar, electricity, yeah. Biofuel also is non-renewable, certainly. So here you can see these are the non-renewables that we have selected. We haven't selected the country name. Select country name out here. Yes, we have not selected. We are supposed to select this and then we select the country. Oops. Yeah. There and thereafter we select the country name. Of course, when you go outside, it will show you this as an error. So I'm going to delete this one. Now that's gone. Right. So let us go to the focus mode. Again, what do we see here? We see coal, fossil, electricity, gas, and electricity or electricity and biofuel. They are the non-renewable energy sources, of course. And they are listed out here. So again, we see that China, United States, India. Whoa, India is in the third list. It's on the third positions on non-renewables. Thereafter, you have Germany, Japan, South Africa, Russia, Australia, Poland, and then there is a long list of countries. And there are countries where like you can hardly see anything, except for Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not surprised about this Saudi Arabia having this like a reasonable count or healthier consumption, because it is the largest producer of oil and gas in the world. So yes, they'll have the highest consumption, non-renewables or fossil fuels as we call it. So let us see in specific to Saudi Arabia, where do we see it? Out here in case of oil and gas, in case of non-renewables, it is showing a distinct consumption quantity. Of course, compared to other countries, It's not too high. Again, in case of Iran also. So if you see most of the OPEC countries, oil and gas producing countries, they will be showing a very high account of renewables consumption. So I think, see, yeah, out here, you can see Russia also. Out here, you can see this Russia. That is also the largest fossil fuels, typically oil and gas produced in the world. So we can see that consumption of Russia is the highest vis-a-vis, of course, United States, India, and even China for that matter, because it produces. So if we see it, Russia is the largest consumer amongst all the OPEC countries when it comes to renewable, non-renewable energy sources. Now let's quickly go back to the report. I'm on page 1. Okay. And out here, if I click on focus, now again, I am on renewables. Okay. Pay attention. Out here, where does Russia stand in renewables? Well, I can't see it anywhere over here. Nowhere over here. If I'm scrolling slowly, yeah, it comes this far behind. And then where does Saudi Arabia stand in renewables? Well, that's hard to find. It's PQRSSSS, Singapore, yeah, Saudi Arabia. Now, so you can see it's just a small spot. Like I said, since it is the largest oil and gas producer, so it will have a greater consumption from non-renewable sources. But in case of India, we saw that is starkly different. We saw, when we check it out here, where does India stand? Yeah, India stands here at number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in renewables. But then when we see it again, in case of non-renewables, India's consumption is third largest. And of course, it's not a surprise also, because we are energy guzzling economy. We use a lot of energy for our economic development. Out here, we see ourselves in number 3. So that is the kind of comparison you will be expected to make. So let me do one thing. Let us write down a few points from the analysis perspective. Comparisons. We have not conducted a country-specific analysis. Okay, I'll pick that in a little while. But whatever we are doing, let us jot it down here on a separate slide for ease in understanding. Country name. Again, I'm not going to write an essay or anything. Like, we just read bullet points, very, very short bullet points. India is largest non-renewables consumer, non-renewables energy consumer world. 5th largest. Wait, let's confirm it again. That is what? That is page 2, right? So that is for the renewables. Yeah. In the non-renewables, we are 3rd largest. And in case of renewables, we are the 5th largest, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. I'll write it down over here. The 5th largest in renewables. That's no surprise. We are the 2nd largest and the most populated country in the world. So obviously, that is how it will look like. Saudi Arabia shows higher non-renewables energy consumption compared to renewables energy sources, because it is the largest fossil fuels producer world. Largest, yeah. This is how you can provide your comparison.